We're doing Bhakti Bhajan, especially chanting Nam, with the goal of attaining prema. What we hear simply by chanting with Namabhas, one can get liberated from all sins. Of course, you have to see the sequel to Ajamil. In the sixth canto, he chanted Namabhas because he was not a sadhaka, a nam sadhaka. He was accidental chanting. Namabhas describes 4 types of accidental chanting that are done by non-sadhakas, joking or by conditioning or whatever. The son was named Narayan. So this teaching does not really apply to those that have surrendered to Guru. Namabhas does not apply to them. In the very purport, a very extensive purport, it may be the longest tika of Vishwanath Chakravarti and the whole Bhagavatam, 6th canto, chapter 9, verse 10, 11, whatever, I can't remember, Ajamil's story, 20-page purport. He said there's 2 types of chanting, Namaparad and Vaikuntha Arohan. Arohan means to ascend or to go up to Vaikuntha. So now it doesn't happen overnight. So that's for devotees who have taken Nam. So we're chanting with Namaparad. When that stops, then we're liberated. We may still remain in the body due to the karmic clock of our body. Many devotees, great saints and sadhus, they attain Krishna Prema. In this body, they attain Krishna Prema. They're called siddhas. But they live for many, many years. So we say, oh, he must not be in Prema. No, it doesn't mean you give up the body immediately. You may, in some cases, or you may live for many, many years. You're fully liberated. You're iha yasya harir dasya karmala manasagira. Totally liberated even when you're in the body. Jivan mukta suyuchate. Jivan mukta suyuchate. The jiva's liberated. Although he's in the body, he's on the platform of prema. So now someone is free from all aparads and he's chanting, but we still see that he's in the body. And it's practically impossible to tell who's on the level of bhava, who's on the level of prema. These things are not externally visible. It takes one to know one. So therefore, Vishwanath is saying that. Says one may be chanting no aparads, and he's, as I understood from my teacher, I just discussed this a few days ago, this very point. And he said the person is chanting without aparad, he said this means prem. But he said prem is a spectrum. As you know, there's sneha, man, pranaya. But even prem itself, there's different levels and intensities of prema. So one may be chanting without offenses. Now he's Vaikuntha Rohan, because there's only 2. There's no Namabhas. If someone has Kantimala and has Guru, Namabhas does not apply to him, according to our acharyas. Namabhas is for the non-devotee, casual, accidental chanter. And you can look at all the Stoba and Hela, Hasya, Sanket, it doesn't apply. None of us are accidentally chanting Hare Krishna. We with intention, we take sankalpa, we intentionally sit down and chant. It's not laughingly, it's not indicating something else. None of it applies. So we're not chanting Namabhas. So then what are we doing? So we're either Namaparad or we're chanting Vaikuntha Rohan. So he said Vaikuntha Rohan, he said you can't go to Vaikuntha without prem. You're chanting in prema, then you go to Vaikuntha. But when? When the body finishes. Now another point is, as I discussed the same point another time, I said, well, it seems that if aparad, nam-aparads, they're part of anartha nivriti. There's 9 stages to prem, and then there's 16 stages to get to the eternal service of Radha and Krishna. 9 stages in Sadhakarup, and 7 stages in Siddharup and Bhoma Vrindavan. So 9 stages in Sadhakarup is Ado Shara Tata Sarva Sangha Bhajana Kriya Nartha Nivriti Tata Nishta Ruchiya Sakti Vava Prema. That's 9. Now we enter Bhoma Vrindavan, then we have a guru again. Lalita's our guru, Vishaka, our Yuteshwari, our guru Saki. Now we get trained 7 more steps. Bhakti is also prem. When you get the Bhakti Lata Bija, it's also prem. Pramanda Brahma Dekhan Bhagavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. So that bhakti is a drop of prem. And now we have sadhu sangha, that drop becomes half a cup. Then we start doing bhakti bhajan, that bhakti becomes a whole cup. But a whole cup we have a fire of tamagun and rajagun inside, and we put a cup of water on top of it. It goes down, but not so much. We're still burning with greed or anger or lust. So then we go to anartha-nivritti, we go to nishta. Now we have 100 liters. 100 liters of bhakti, if you want to make an analogy. And finally, it's bhakti sindhu. It's an unlimited ocean. That's prema. But even prema has 7 levels. We have to understand and realize and feel and perceive sneha, man, pranaya, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. That's 7. So it's 16. My teacher was telling me it's 16 steps to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna and the Kunja Seva Vrindavan. So the most important ones are the nine to get liberated from this body and attain prema. So you're saying, and the best thing to do is the Nam, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he asked Ramananda Roy that, in Ramananda Sambhag, he said, of all the forms of bhajan, which is the best? And he said, bhajanera madhya shreshta navavida bhakti. It says, Krishna dite prema upajay. He said, of all the types of bhajan, different kinds of service in bhajan, navavida bhakti, hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna, this is the shrestha. This is the best. And by doing any of these lengths of bhakti, you get Krishna prem, and you attain Krishna and Krishna prem. And then Lord Chaitanya said, well, of those, what is the best? He said, bhajanera madhyashreshta nam sankirtan. So he said, all the types of bhajan, Navavida Bhakti is the best. Prahlad Maharaj told that millions of years ago in the Bhagavad, 7th canto. Shravanam kirtana vishnu smaranam padasevanam archanam vandanam dasya sakyamanam. So Mahaprabhu, was hearing from Ramananda Roy that the best thing is Nam Sankirtan. So Nam Sankirtan is the bhajan for the Kali Yuga. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Everything, there's nothing else to do but Harinam. Now Harinam has different aspects, because Harinam takes us from nowhere to somewhere, and from somewhere to Vrindavan, and from Vrindavan to the spiritual world. So Harinam, we, unlike other forms, Gyan, Sadhana, Gyan, and yogis, they perform certain sadhanas to attain a certain paramgati. And when they attain it, they don't need to do anything anymore. I am Brahman, and they just say Ham Brahmasmi, Ham Brahman, because they realize it. They don't have to study Vedanta sutras. They don't have to do tapasya. They don't have to do anything. And they leave the guru, and they leave whatever processes and sadhanas they did. They transcend. Prabhupada used it like the yoga ladder. You put a ladder on the side, on the seedy on the side of the house, and you climb up to the first floor and throw out the ladder. Okay, cool, But with us, our sadhana, what we're doing, our practices of yoga sadhana, bhakti yoga sadhana, and our guru are eternal. Shravanam Kirtana Vishnu Smaranam, it is eternal, and the guru is eternal. That's why he's called Sadguru. Sad means eternal, nitya. So if you don't like the guru now, then you're stuck. This is a marriage, it never ends. There's no divorce courts, there's no separation, there's no annulments. Because you can't separate or annul or divorce the Atma. So the Atma and its Swadharma, serving Bhagavan, is eternal. So it's Janmi Janmi say, Prabhu say, Narottam is saying. So this is a fact. So only in the bhakti path, only in no other path, not by Gyan Marg, Karma Marg, any other type of spiritual practices, are the practices, what we do as our sadhana is also what we do in our perfection. We do as sadhakas, we do as siddhas. And the guru that we have as a sadhaka, he comes back life after life till he becomes siddha, and then we live eternally with the guru in the spiritual world. So chanting, why we chant? Because this is the easiest, it's the simplest. In all 4 ages, Harinam Sankirtan existed. Everyone was aware of it. Everyone was well aware of it. And it has equal power. Nitya, Siddha, Purna Shuddha. The holy name is always purifying. It's fully purifying. Purna Shuddha, Nitya Mukta. It's always transcendental, always fully purifying in any age. So in Satyuga they know about it. They know about Nam Sankirtan. But that's easy. That's easy path. Let me do yoga. So they don't take it up. But in this Kali Yuga, this is the only thing that works. So we chant like someone say, because in the beginning we chant Hare Krishna for Chaito Darpana Marjanam, to purify the consciousness. But later we chant Hare Krishna for Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Chaitodarpana Marjanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. You see, one is a sadhaka, one is a siddha, in the same verse. Shikshastika number 1. You start as a sadhaka, Chaitodarpana Marjanam. And then you end up Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. You end up in an ocean of bliss. Radharani's chanting Hare Krishna. The Sakhis, Vishakhas chanting, they're chanting in the spiritual world. That's Nitya. Krishna's name is Nitya. Krishna. So now it's a little difficult. We don't have the ruchi, the nam ruchi. We're not tasting the rasa swadana. Pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. It's beautiful. Pratipadam, every step. You know it's Hindi, it's the same as Hindi, Sanskrit. Pratipadam purnamritam. Pratipadam purna. It's complete amrit. It's complete nectar at every step. Pratipadam purnamritam swadanam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know it. Everyone knows it. The guy comes off the street. He's like hardly, half alive, half in tamagun. And he comes in and he starts going in the Harinam Sankirtan. He's in bliss. That bliss is real. It's spiritual. Okay, he's drunk. He's intoxicated. But when he's chanting Hare Krishna in a sadhu sangha, he's experiencing spiritual bliss. That's what makes his arms go up. Ordinarily, he's so drunk and stoned, he can't even lift his arms. He doesn't know what he's doing. Can hardly walk. But he gets in the kirtan, Haribol. The soul wants to leap out of the body. The soul wants to leap out of the body because the soul is actually contacting spiritual bliss in the non-sankirtan. So our sadhana is so beautiful. It's a little difficult. In the anartha nivriti stage, it's a little difficult. So I was asking Gurudev, I said, if we have namaparad, so namaparad means anartha nivriti, because nivriti means to become free from. Anartha has 2 types. There's subdivisions, but one anartha is aparad, and the other is duskriti anartha and bhakti. It's different in Madhurya Kadamani. Anartha is arising from bhakti. So you do bhakti and you get a little name and fame. So that's bhakti Tarangarangani. So you enjoy. Oh yeah, I'm a big. Oh, you enjoy the waves. Oh, are you so and so? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm so and so. So that's Rangani. Rangani means to delight or enjoy. It says bhakti utao. This is in Madhurya Kadamani. Uto means to get up. So from bhakti, anarthas arise. Then one is from the karma. Oh, so many things. So this isn't the anartha nivriti going to nishta. So then that's a little difficult. But when we come to nishta and nam, then some taste comes. And then our progress, nishta and ruchi are considered side by side. So I said, Gurudev, this one stage of bhakti bhajan is anartha nivriti. So next is nishta. So nishta means there's no more anartha. I said, so anartha nivriti is part of namaparats. That's described in Madhurya Kadambini. They're all in that one category, that one level of bhakti sadhana. So nishta, there's no more anarthas. There's some, because Madhurya Kadambini says anarthas go all the way to the level of prema. It's a possibility, even to the level of prema, and beginning level of prema, there's a possibility to make a mahant aparad. I wrote this in my article. It's on the post. Mahant aparad, I think this is in part 2 of seeing the Siddhadeha, gradual process. Mahant aparad means you may offend a great devotee. However, if that premi bhakta is fixed in his relationship with Krishna and deeply absorbed in his internal relationship with Krishna, there's levels of prema, then he won't make this aparad. When he's fully entered the Lila of Krishna and absorbed in serving Krishna, but even up to the threshold, just like the Bharat Maharaj, he had bhava. That's a very lower level of bhava, because he was attached. Although Goseva, when Vishnu Chakravarti talks about the 5 types of Raganuga Bhakti, one is against Raganuga Bhakti, one is favorable, one is not unfavorable. So Goseva is listed as not unfavorable. That's okay. It's not unfavorable. It's not against Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. However, why? Because Krishna loves the cows. He's Gopal. But there's nothing there that says Mriga Seva. So this Bharat Maharaj, he had bhava, but he was not in Siddhadeha. He was not aware of his relationship with Krishna. He was not doing meditation. And he was expressing affection for a mundane person, an entity, the deer. So that has nothing to do with bhakti. It's not neutral, it's actually against. And mundane affection for any material body will block one's attachment to Krishna. So he went down because of that. The affection was greater. That affection for the deer was just a transference of his affection for his queens. Because he was previously married, so he at least had one queen, probably many more, I can't say, but he was a king, so then he gave that up. So that affection was transferred from the queens. Affection of being attached to the deer was actually the sanskara coming from his attachment to his wife. So this is a problem. So his bhava was not fully developed.